7 billion people on one globe. 7 billion people, all using energy, and some more than others. 40% of energy consumption, as well as a large share of our CO2 emissions, are due to buildings, mostly as a result of heating or cooling them. Do we have better ways to improve our quality of life and protect our climate? In your heart, you know something must change. Dr. Steffen Singer is the Worldwide Fund for Nature's Director for Global Energy Policies.
One of the greatest challenges of mankind is climate change caused by burning fossil fuels, coal, oil and gas, which has the potential to make the Earth an unlivable planet.
Fortunately, energy consumption and CO2 emissions are directly related. So with the right solution, we can both save money by using less energy and actively contribute to reducing climate change. Insulation reduces expensive energy consumption by so much that saving CO2 actually offers us an economic gain, and the potential for savings is enormous. Not surprisingly, the degree of insulation has a large impact on our overall housing costs. A poorly insulated home can be an expensive experience. Fortunately though, a heat-sensitive camera can give a clear picture of where better insulation is necessary. In Europe, for example, almost €500 per person are needlessly wasted because of poor insulation. If we're going to reduce energy consumption in buildings, then insulation and a carefully designed building construction are very important. A good example of this can be found in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. Here, the Energy Ministry commissioned a new energy-efficient office building. And Dr. Roy from the Energy Ministry sees great opportunities for energy efficiency savings as a result of buildings being insulated.
Many buildings in this country, especially residential buildings, are built without any due consideration of insulation, either particularly in the rooftop. And being a hot country with the sun right on the top at noon onwards, there's significant potential to reduce the heat gain in the house from rooftops by using this insulation.
Architect Maria Grazia lives in northern Italy near Turin and is one of the first people in her country to live in a low-energy house.
I built a low-energy home because at the time none existed in Italy, and I wanted to prove it was possible. Many people were skeptical. No one believed it was feasible to build a low-energy home. I wanted to challenge conventional thinking. I wanted to show that building a low-energy house at little extra cost to a conventional house was possible.
Energy-efficient buildings are an obvious choice in cold climates. But the greatest efficiency gains aren't to be found in new builds. If we really want to save energy, then we have to retrofit our existing buildings. In the United Kingdom, insulation is a key instrument for reducing CO2 emissions by 60%. Philip Selwood has worked with helping drawing up the targets for reductions in CO2 emissions.
The most effective way of reducing your emissions and indeed reducing your energy bills is to insulate. So first and foremost we say to people put in loft insulation, draft proofing, cavity wall insulation, because this will enable you to save about £300 a year every year, and also will be the biggest contributor to reducing your CO2 emissions.
Similar results are possible in Eastern Europe, where huge masses of building stock remain poorly insulated. The individual homeowner also has the possibility of making large energy savings and thereby contributing to reduced CO2 emissions. According to the German Energy Agency, homeowners can save 11 tons of CO2 annually if a poorly insulated home built before the oil crisis is modernized to low energy standards. This house in Germany, originally built in 1952, has recently been renovated and insulated, with the result that energy consumption has been reduced to approximately 1/5 of original levels. Owner Markus Schröder explains.
I think it's very important for us to do something like this because we live in this house for many years. We have to pay for energy costs, and these energy costs will increase. A low energy house, I would say, is one of the best investments you can have for the future.
Another positive benefit of correct insulation is a better indoor climate.
The indoor climate is becoming very good in comparison to the old house. Then we realized that we have a really good noise reduction, so it's no problem to sleep well in the night.
Insulation is the thing that you should do first and foremost, because it's the measure that brings the greatest benefit in terms of finances, it's the greatest benefit in terms of the environmental impact, and it has the greatest impact on long-term health of householders. And if you like, it's without question the lowest hanging fruit.
We know that something must be done. It's time for action, because the cost of doing nothing is far too high. We must reduce CO2 emissions. The consequences of not doing so are already known as an inconvenient truth. The convenient truth, though, is that by insulating our buildings, we can all contribute to substantial energy savings, which is good for our own economy and good for the environment. So now, it's a matter of picking this low-hanging fruit: insulation.